What about it, YouTube? Okay, splitting the middle. Okay, right quick. I did a video comparing Colin with George Soros, and it ran on too long, so I had to post it to my other account. Long story why I have two accounts. Anyway, this account I can only post videos up to 15 minutes. The other account I can go longer, but this is the account I've been using for years, so this is the account I got. And no, there's no troll accounts or sock accounts. They're both called Econ Recon. They both have subscribers. They both have videos. It's just some shit that I don't want to get into happened, and that's why I have this other channel. But anyway, so this whole thing was how there's like two sides to, you know, there's Colin Flaherty and there's George Soros. Both are making the kids angry. George goes after the black kids, pisses them off. Colin goes after the white kids, pisses them off. I mean, you can go to anybody's, you can sit there all day and you can watch videos that are compiled of cops abusing blacks. And you can see all the blacks get all excited that they just hate everybody, and especially white people and cracker cops and the rest of it. Or you can go to Colin's channel and see the same comments focused at black people. So what is the solution here? Buy Colin's books? Is that really what it is? Is it like paying a global carbon credit tax is going to change the earth all of a sudden? So if you want to come to some real solutions on stuff, it's not just feeding yourself endless victim porno, watching Colin Flaherty and buying his books and paying him. You know, he's just like Alex Jones in that respect, right? Alex Jones would go broke if there wasn't conspiracies. So do you think he wants everybody being honest and there not to be any more conspiracies and, you know, all the corruption gets accounted for? No, he'd go broke. Just like Colin Flaherty. Do you think he wants blacks and whites to get along? How much love? I have to hear this crap from people about how he saved some guy from... How much love has he ever shown to black people at all? I mean, not every one of them is that way. So, and to just hate them is no solution. So, you're going nowhere with that shit. It's Stormfront light. You know, where do you go with that shit? You're gonna be discredited from the beginning because all you do is offer them the excuse they need to act retarded anyway, hating on them, right? So you've got to be above that. You've got to split the middle. That's what I want everyone to see in this video, is split the middle. They make everything some dichotomy. It doesn't matter what it is. And so they take some of the truth and they create this narrative, and they take another part of the truth and they create this narrative. Each one of them is fucked up. Each one of them is a road to hell and nowhere. And that's what they want you to see, though, and fight and argue about between, right? It doesn't matter what issue it is. It's like you've got to hate gays and you've got to want them all to die and go to hell, or you've got to hate Christians and make everyone bathe in your degeneracy as you parade up and down the street and show off that you're confused about how sexual mechanics works. I mean, there's no splitting the middle. It's like, no, they don't all need to die and be hated and cursed and, you know, and no, these guys don't need to be attacked and we don't need to bathe in your degeneracy. How about we split the middle on this, all right? You guys go do what you're going to do, but don't bring it into our neighborhoods and infect our kids with it, okay? Because there's a middle here somewhere. It's like, you guys can be happy, I promise you guys can be happy doing this shit over here, but it doesn't belong everywhere, okay? I mean, you have to explain that. It's like marijuana. It's like, okay, you either got to have marijuana on every street corner and available readily and around everybody's kid, or you've got to hate the drugs and they're evil and the people that do them need to go to prison and there's no compassion or any, you know, addressing the issues of how the drugs got on the street in the first place from the CIA or whatever that's caused the crack epidemic, that's the heroin epidemic, the pills and the rest of it. Where does this shit, I mean, who's to blame here? And how do we resolve this correctly? You know, is it hate everyone that's ever touched a drug and persecute them with the law like Sessions would do? Or is it, let's do it like Denver and have it where it's everywhere and it's right in front of your kids, and I mean, they're brought up thinking that mind-altering shit is just normal and everything. I mean, there's a place. There's a reason why you're not going to get... It's like, Okay, whatever it is, prostitution, porno, gambling, whatever. There's an outlet for it, right? In the right situation, you got people who have brains, and they split the middle, and they realize you're not going to force everyone to give up this scourge on society, or what would be a scourge on society, this behavior, this odd behavior, this aberrant statistical minority behavior, okay? But if we give them an outlet, if you can go to Van Buren Street in Phoenix, you know, if you can go to Pioneer Park in Utah, or under the viaducts in the freeways, or wherever it is in your locale. I mean, those are a couple places I know. But, not that I go there, it's just I lived in those areas, and so I knew where the bad areas were. But that was where you went. That's where you went. That's where, like, the tobacco stores, the tattoo stores, the paraphernalia stores, the magazine stores, and at that time that would be the porno, right? And all that stuff. There was Skid Row, and that's where everybody went for that stuff, and it wasn't everywhere. Nobody had to bathe in it, right? Or you might even had your little gay places, who knows where. I didn't know where any of that shit was. Actually, Murray Park in Utah was somehow where all the gays wanted to be. But other than that, that was just from reading the bathroom talk. But other than that, I don't know. But see, they could have that. You can have your little bathhouse, you can have your little club, your little gay thing, and just nobody wants it everywhere. Do you see what I'm saying? Can you figure out how to split the middle? How you can, like, let there be an outlet? You know? I mean, it's in every issue that there is. That there's a dichotomy of one retarded conversation against another retarded conversation. So Colin Flaherty is just as guilty and retarded as George Soros. And how George Soros isn't public enemy number one, I have no idea. And how Colin Flaherty is allowed to run loose and have comments in there talking about orc and animal and all Negroes need, or they say niggers need to go back to on the boat. I mean, all of this talk, how's that allowed, right? And I guess they're going to crack down now with YouTube censorship and the ADL. The Jews are going to sit there and, like, decide what can be seen and what can't be seen and viewed. I mean, we're talking about. I mean, I think it's going to backfire on the ADL. I'm kind of with Ramsey Paul on this one, that they're overstepping, and that's probably okay. And just like the Congress is overstepping with their, Zionist Israel project crap that they're trying to push Putin around against Trump, the deep state or whatever. I mean, so you have these fuckers who are just bound and determined to keep it going in that direction. Look at the Congress. Do you feel like they represent you? I mean, I'm getting off on some other shit, but these it doesn't matter what it is. Left, right, progressive, conservative, white nationalist, Antifa, MGTOW, feminism. I mean, it does not matter what it is, okay? There's a middle ground that you're missing. There isn't just two colors in the crayon box, okay? The world doesn't just consist of Coke and Pepsi. Okay, there's other flavors out there. There's other colors out there. You've got to discover for yourself the truths and then come at a common sense consensus of it. You just be common sense about it. Like, okay, you're not going to get rid of gambling, but where can we give people an outlet for it so that it can happen without trouble? So that it can happen without kids or somebody else getting involved in it and it becoming some kind of an epidemic or some kind of a scourge again on the rest of us. How can we limit it, but let it not, but let it exist enough that we don't have problems with people acting out, chimping out, because there was no outlet for them to do whatever nefarious, odd color kind of action that they might be into. Anyway, split the middle. That's the message of this video. And then another thing on the split in the middle. Ben Shapiro and Sank were arguing over the healthcare thing and some other things. The progressive against the conservative. Both of them are idiots. But again, see what I'm saying? Like, you got to be an idiot over here. You got to be an idiot over here. Both of them are like, I don't know, second generation Johnny-come-latelys. I don't know why anybody gives them a microphone to begin with. What happened to having, like, original stock who gets to, like, talk about the direction of things, right? Like somebody like me who's been around for 6, 7 generations on each side of the family. Okay, but no, it's got to be Ben Shapiro, the tribal member, against Sank, the Turk dude, right? I mean, here we go with, don't we have like some history here with the Jews attacking the Christians in Turkey? Or, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, here we go again. And so Sank was saying that we could just expand Medicare to everyone. There he was absolutely correct. But where he was incorrect is he got in this argument with Shapiro about taxes when no one's ever even talked about taxes being any kind of an issue for like 3 decades. Like, it's retarded. Like, no one's made that an issue. Like, oh, we damn it, we want to buy this many F-35s, but unless we raise taxes, no one's been talking like that for years. Yeah, that used to be all, but then they realized it was sort of like a political, taboo. It's like death to sit there and like talk about raising people's taxes, so they just let it go. But they still raise the debt ceilings, and they still buy all the F-35s, and they still spend all the money they need to or whatever on the military, okay? And there's no equity in any of that, right? So they can build as many like bombs and pay as many people to be in the military as whatever, and it doesn't really cause any extra equity in the economy, so that has no ill effect. So all this crap about money expansion and hyperinflation is retarded when there's no equity after what the government spends its money. So the same thing is with healthcare. You can't spend your healthy public, but your healthy public can go to work and make more money and add to the economy, and hell, they can like enjoy their life and stuff, and it's kind of a nice Jesus thing to do. Make sure that people from birth to death are taken care of when it doesn't cause any trouble, which it wouldn't. So he was absolutely right. Medicare should be expanded to everybody. No worries about it. And then the government, if they want to like crack down on the dumb shit, they should price regulate the things that are going on, the prescriptions and the equipment, because the prices there are outlandish. And I'm not saying they should control what the doctors make for their services, but when you take your car to get fixed, they have like a pro rate of like how much shop time it takes to do this operation, so that people don't like just have like a bunch of scoundrels out there ripping them off. I'm not opposed to like having the same thing like shop rate, like, hey, look, this procedure right here, this is what shop rate is. This is what you get, okay? So I mean, there's solutions to all this that people ignore, and they argue about taxes or whatever. But Sank was right about that. Again, you have two dichotomies. No one seems to address the real. No one seems to be able to find that color in the crayon box that has the truth all the way in it. You know what I mean? And so another thing, if you're lost out there and you're just looking for like, hey, someone out there's got to be like the voice of reason or whatever else, you know what I mean? It's you, and it's you connecting with, behave, govern yourself, be self-governed so that you can disassociate from the rest of it and look at everything as if you're an alien just observing the rest of these morons, and then align yourself with the way in the life, which is Jesus, and make that your thing, right? That doesn't mean you need to be any particular religion, not that that's bad. If you can use a religion to take your kids and, help customize them into a way of behaving where it's, love your neighbor and do unto others, and you can give them into activities and with kids with similar interests and similar values, that's not a bad thing. But just make it, don't make your mission in life around an organization or some kook cult or some guru or some thing out there. Again, split the middle. If you want to have something to lean on, you're going to have to make it Jesus, because he's the way in the life. He's the way to the Father. Your burdens will be light. I try to keep pounding this into my videos because it's really the key to everything. It's how you can disassociate, where you don't have to be all bunged up about this or that in government, like it's like you got this cloud on your head, like you're like there's like little New World Order goblins, like Alex Jones describes, like running around in your backyard or under your bed. You got to be worried about, or there's Negroes that are, these Africans that are just like plotting and planning, and I'm at any okay. Yeah, you need to be vigilant. Yeah, you need to learn self-defense. Yeah, depending on where you live, you need to take precautions and be vigilant in the situation. Duh. If I go to Canada, do I take bear spray? I mean, duh. But hating the bears and buying books that teach me how to hate bears, that doesn't do any good. So I don't want to run too long with this video. Split the middle. That's it. Thank you for watching.